Well, you're a renowned journalist and award-winning, so that's standard for those that don't know, to not reveal your sources. You don't want to throw them overboard. I mean, they did this in confidence, but continue.
Okay, so here we are. They are truly world-leading consultants, and they said to me, when they'd studied the film footage and everything else, Alan, it is irrefutable. The building, the Twin Towers, were brought down by controlled explosions from within. Now, I know there are many other people that say that in America, but as a journalist, I can only go on people that I know and trust, right?
Yes.
So they said that to me. So by definition, Alex, if the buildings were brought down by controlled explosions, it is a conspiracy by absolute definition. So then you have to take it wider. Now, my speculation, and of course it is speculation, is that it probably may well have started out as an all-Muslim conspiracy. But the thing is, ever since Israel's foundation, its various intelligence agencies, Mossad in particular, and its Directorate of Military Intelligence have been brilliant, and they've had agents deep inside every Arab government, every Arab military organization.
Sir, we've got to break there. We've got to break. I apologize. I'm not going to cut you off for a single second when we get back, and we'll run through all of this. The King David Hotel bombing, the Lavon affair, on and on and on. Israel admits in Haaretz and Jerusalem Post they have fake al-Qaeda groups that stage events every time there's about to be a peace deal. So we'll come back and continue where you just left off. We're very honored to have our guest with us, Alan Hart, today. We'll be right back.
Was a highwayman along the coach.
Alan Hart is an author, former Middle East chief correspondent for Independent Television News, former BBC Panorama presenter, and the list goes on and on. Started out his beat during the Vietnam War over there. Okay, this is a short segment. You got cut off by the break. Please start back over with the information you were covering concerning 9/11.
Right, to pick up where we were, Alex. It's not impossible, and this is my speculation, it's not impossible that it started out as an all-Muslim plot. But even if it did, it would have been very quickly taken over by Israeli agents. I mean, one of the great truths of history is that from almost the moment of Israel's birth, Israeli agents, either Mossad or the Directors of Military Intelligence, penetrated every Arab government, every Arab military organization, every Arab terrorist group, whether they were terrorists or not. And if we time later on, ask me to tell you this particular story, the penetration of the Abu Nidal group. But for now, let us say, even if it started out as an all-Muslim plot, Israeli agents inside would have got to know about it. And my guess is that they would have said to the bad guys in the CIA and their associates, Zionist associates and other neocon associates, hey, this plot is running. What do we do with it? And the answer would have been, we'll use it. Because we know in the background that Paul Wolfowitz had already spoken in his paper, The Clean Break, about the need for a Pearl Harbor event, right?
Yes, the PNAC documents.
That's right. So the Zionists and the neocons, they were looking for a Pearl Harbor event to give them the pretext to go to war, not only in Iraq to get rid of Saddam Hussein, but the Clean Break document that the Zionists in America wrote for incoming Prime Minister Netanyahu in his first term talked about the need not only to get rid of Saddam Hussein, but to roll back Syria and eventually go for Iran.
Which we now see happening. I want to continue fleshing this out from your experience and reporting for decades from the Middle East and interviewing Yasser Arafat and, just countless other people. And as you said earlier, the founder of the modern state of Israel, I believe you were saying you consider to be a friend. That is so interesting. I want to discuss that. And it must be painful to have to, talk about this and go over this because the truth is painful. I'm only looking for the truth. And a lot of the people that constantly attack Israel, in my experience, make stuff up. They hyperventilate. It's a religion of hating Israel. They lie about me. They lie about others, so I don't have any respect for them. But somebody like you, who does have, a great track record and who I have researched, that's why you're here on the show, and that's why we're talking about this. And I, you do believe at certain levels Israel was involved in 9/11. We know that there were hijackers that were living in homes paid for by Israeli intelligence. We know Fox News even reported that hundreds of Israeli spies were arrested in and around 9/11. I've interviewed the sheriff who picked up the dancing Israelis, who it later turned out were Mossad. And we do know the moving company was a Mossad front. We do know they were videotaping it. We know Silverstein is tied in to all these groups. But then you've got separately Cheney in there in control of the stand-down. We know we have a stand-down order from 2 months before.
Yeah, I call Cheney the real Dr. Strangelove, incidentally.
Well, then, speak to that, because I'm always worried about anything that says it's one group or another group, when you point out rightly that let me take Adam Gadon, the grandson of the ADL former head, up there putting up fake al-Qaeda videos. The CIA admits they're putting out fake bin Laden videos now in the Washington Post. That is clearly a Israeli production with Adam Gadon to menace and scare the American people. So I'm all about exposing things. I've just found the British stage terror, the U.S. stage terror, and so I want to speak about that because you're saying Israel found out about it and then said, hey, this is going on, let's piggyback or piggyback on it. But for me, it's more than just piggybacking. These governments at every level were involved shepherding the operation.
But, Alex, there are so many other things. Look, for goodness sake, there has been a complete cover-up in this country, authorized by President Johnson, of Israel's attack on the Liberty during the 1967 war.
Absolutely.
We don't actually know who killed Kennedy. Now, in my view, Oswald didn't fire a shot.
Oh, the evidence is overwhelming.
America has an incredible tradition at leadership level in suppressing the truth. And the question you have to ask, surely, is in whose interest is it that American citizens, the voters, be denied the truth about so much?
So for you, it's all motive. You believe you're saying Israel had the most in the motive. Well, let's come back and talk about that.
No, Alex, with respect, I'm not.
Okay, right. Stay there, then. We'll get your answer on the other side.